Are you feeling the pinch at the grocery store? In 2022, inflation hit a level unseen in 4 decades and certain items saw prices skyrocket more than others. Join us as we take a deep dive into which items were affected the most and why. From food at schools increasing by 305% to fuel and motor fuel skyrocketing, you won't want to miss this Wealth Builders video. So, grab your shopping list and let's get started. As we dive deeper into the inflation data, we can see that food prices were hit particularly hard. The price of a meal at elementary and secondary schools spiked by a whopping 305% in 2022. This can be attributed to a number of factors, including snarled supply chains, labor shortages, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In addition to food prices at schools, overall food prices were also affected. The respective annual inflation rates for groceries and meals away from home hit 13.5% and 8% in August, the highest since 1971 and 1981 respectively. The invasion of Ukraine created an energy supply shock, contributing to higher transport costs to deliver food from farm to table, which combined with other factors like higher labor costs, led to fast rising prices throughout the food complex. But it wasn't just food prices that were affected. Fuel and motor fuels also saw significant increases. When crude oil prices spiked in the first half of the year, so did those of its refined byproducts. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February played a big role in this, as it caused crude oil prices to hit its highest inflation-adjusted price since 2014. If you've been wondering why eggs have been so expensive lately, you're not alone. In 2022, the United States experienced its deadliest outbreak of avian influenza, also known as bird flu. This highly contagious and lethal disease killed tens of millions of egg-laying hens, leading to a shortage of eggs. As a result, egg prices rose by a whopping 59.9%. According to Brian Moscogery, a global trade strategist at Eggs Unlimited, an egg supplier based in Irvine, California, it's a supply disruption, act of God, type stuff. This means that the outbreak of bird flu was an unexpected event that caused a disruption in the supply of eggs, leading to higher prices. The price of margarine has risen by 43.8% in 2022 due to global shocks in major markets for vegetable oil, a key ingredient in margarine. These global shocks are caused by factors such as war, natural disasters, and trade restrictions. These events have led to a supply disruption and an increase in the prices of vegetable oils and subsequently the prices of margarine. Fuel oil and motor fuels saw a significant increase in prices due to the spike in crude oil prices in the first half of the year. The increase in crude oil prices was largely caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which led to concerns about the impact on supply. As a result, fuel oil and other motor fuels such as diesel saw an increase of 41.5% and 32.3% respectively. However, in the second half of the year, oil prices began to retreat as fears of a possible recession and a decrease in oil demand began to rise. As a result, gasoline prices ended the year down 1.5%, but prices for other oil products did not decline as steeply. Prices for butter and other dairy products increased due to a decline in global milk output among major producers such as Australia, the European Union, and New Zealand. Monthly milk production fell from September 2021 to June 2022, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This decline in milk production led to a decrease in supply and an increase in prices for butter and other dairy products. Additionally, the war in Russia and Ukraine affected grain supplies, raising the price of animal feed and costs for farmers, which further affected the prices of butter and other dairy products. As a result, butter prices ended the year up 31.4%, and other dairy products, excluding milk, cheese and ice cream, were up 21.4%. Airline fares saw an increase of 28.5% in 2022 due to a combination of factors. The demand for travel increased as consumers had more disposable income and pent-up travel desires. However, the airline industry was facing shortages of pilots, who were either laid off or retired early during the pandemic. Additionally, the cost of jet fuel increased and airlines were flying fewer routes. These factors led to a decrease in the supply of airline seats, which resulted in an increase in airfare prices. However, average fares began to decrease in the last quarter of the year. Lettuce prices saw an increase of 24.9% due to an insect-borne virus that affected the Salinas Valley growing region in California. The region, known as America's Salad Bowl, accounts for about half of the lettuce production in the United States. Additionally, prices for fertilizer, a major cost for farmers, hit all-time highs in spring 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine, which further affected the price of vegetables and fruits. Finally, flour prices saw an increase of 23.4% due to the war in Ukraine and Russia. These countries are major wheat exporters, accounting for 28% of all exports globally in 2021 according to the USDA. The war led to uncertainty about export volumes and its impact on the spring planting season, causing wheat prices to spike and in turn affecting the price of flour, which is made from wheat. It's important to remember that inflation is a normal part of the economy, and in many cases, a little bit of inflation can actually be beneficial. It can encourage spending and investment, which can help to boost economic growth. However, when inflation gets out of control, it can lead to problems such as rising interest rates, decreased purchasing power, and economic instability. If you've lasted this long in the video as a thank you, I would like to extend some tips for you with all this going on. First, find a farmer local to you. Do your research and talk with a farmer to make a consistent purchasing plan. All the costs associated in between the transport to the grocery store can be cut down with adequate planning as well as bulk purchases. By direct sourcing, you know where your food comes from and you cut out the middle to save largely on labor costs. Second, make reasonable purchases that last. The businesses that survived the lost decade in Japan told reporters their story of how they survived the worst times in Japan's economic history. One was quoted saying, "It's not that people will not spend money during this hardship, it's that they'll spend more strategically." If the quality of goods you buy will last you just a bit longer, it may be a bit more expensive but cost less over time when needing to buy a replacement. Third, inflation and the rush of money can hurt your purchasing power, but by being able to pinch every penny while finding ways to increase your income will set you up to succeed after the storm has passed. Thank you for watching this video. Wealth Builders would like to invite you to subscribe if you found value from this video and to share it with people. See you in the next video.